Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy Golden Falls, Golden What If, whatever you want to call me. And I am back with the finale of What If Deku had the Karma Seal. And if you've been enjoying this series, please leave a like and subscribe. As well as go to the description and please check out my Twitch and other links like my Discord underneath below. I'm not going to waste any more of your time, and we're going to get right into this finale. We left off basically right as they got kicked off that mountain when they're going to the Forest Lodge. Let's get it. The class then all falls down the cliff. And as this happens, Midoriya sees Melissa falling as well, catching her bridal style and floats to the ground. Izuku, I could have caught myself. As she looks at him, basically pouting. I know, sorry about that. Class 1A then makes their way through the forest, defeating monsters, and Midoriya finds it extremely easy actually, but still wants to help his classmates even though he could just decide to teleport or just fly away. They then arrive about 2 hours later and are greeted by Aizawa and the Wild Pussycats. Aizawa explains that they are free to go get food and rest up for the night, so the class does so, as Midoriya sees a young boy walking over to him. Hey, little one, what's your name? As he says this, the little kid punches him in the family jewels, and he falls down, collapsing to the floor, and Melissa runs over to him. Izuku, are you okay? I don't think so. The day ends with Midoriya limping to the eating area and then eventually to his bedroom. The next day, Aizawa explains to them that yes, they have had a lot of on-the-field training, but they haven't actually trained their quirks. So for the rest of the time there, they will be doing so. Aizawa then tells the students one by one what he believes they need to work on, and eventually, after telling Melissa to work on her hand-to-hand combats with Tiger, he begins to explain what he wants Midoriya to do. Okay, problem child. This is what I want from you. I want you to work on your teleporting or whatever that part of your power is. Also, practice fighting while flying. The other stuff that you can do, I'm sure you've gotten enough practice with. But using teleportation will be crucial for you. Midoriya agrees, and he heads off and begins to train. Over the next week, Midoriya trains and is able to use his flying really well, and he can now teleport way longer distances, but it requires perfect focus of the surrounding area, or he will just lose all his stamina just to not go anywhere. The last day of the training at the lodge, Midoriya is teleporting around, feeling pretty confident about his teleportation ability, and actually realizing that he has another ability, but he's not too sure, and he knows that it may drain his stamina a bit. A portal then opens behind him, and he gets dragged in, back to the camp. Aizawa is doing a head count to see if everyone was there. Melissa is here. Midoriya? Where's Midoriya? Midoriya then runs from the forest. I'm here, sensei. Okay, get on the bus. As Midoriya walks by, an evil grin appears on his face. Midoriya then wakes up, strapped to a chair, and the room around him is in pure darkness. He then hears someone in the distance. Who are you? Show yourself. Izuku Midoriya, am I right? My name is All for One, and I've heard something very interesting about you. Midoriya activates his Karma Seal, and can now see the figure in front of him, sitting in a throne-like chair. What did you learn about me? The power you possess is far beyond anyone's imagination, and that I need your abilities, Midoriya, to reinstate this world. Well, sorry, the power is currently occupied, so you can't use it. Funny, kid, but don't worry. I will be just taking it. All for One approaches him, putting his hand on his head, trying to steal the karma seal. What are you doing? Get your hand off of me. All for One looks at him in disbelief that this must be a mistake, that this kid is quirkless and he can even feel it. Izuku then makes a portal beneath them and they both fall through, and he breaks his restraints. They land in the middle of a city, and before their fight begins, Midoriya drops a note into a portal. Back to the bus. On the bus, a small portal opens next to Aizawa, and a note comes out saying, "That is not me." Aizawa then thinks back that Midoriya was late and he has been acting very suspicious. He activates his quirk and scans the whole bus, and when his eyes meet Midoriya's, the disguise is now gone. Toga then appears, stabbing into Melissa and slightly scratching Bakugo, but is subdued really fast. Aizawa looks back at them. "This isn't good." As he says this, a Nomu smashes into the bus. Back to Midoriya. The fight between All for One and Midoriya continues, and Midoriya clearly has the speed advantage, but can't really get a clean hit on All for One anyways. Until from the sky comes something, and when it lands, the ground beneath him breaks. "No need to fear, because I am here." All Might then shows up telling Midoriya that they will fight him together, a lot like how Melissa and Izuku did against him. Midoriya then using portals attacks All for One with blasts from his stored elements, as well as giving All Might a way to move in an unpredictable way. All for One then sends tendrils through a portal that strikes Midoriya, but All Might gets a clean hit, heavily injuring him. "If I can't have that kid's power, then no one can." All Might, too slow to save Izuku, watches as he is about to be hit by a blast from All for One. A portal opens in front of Izuku right before this occurs, and someone walks out. All for One looks in shock at this new person, but he looks just like that hero from America who died in that attack. "I can handle it from here, kid. Can't have you dime me just yet." Indra then charges at All for One, and so does All Might, and with their combined powers, they knock him out cold. All Might turns to thank him, but as quickly as he was there, he was gone. Izuku in his head knows that Indra did not want to stay around to basically be thanked or greeted at all. Izuku then passes out. In his mindscape, he begins to see something. So I guess my brother has sort of turned over a new leaf. Izuku runs over to the voice to see that it's Ashura, and he hugs him. "Hey kid, you've been doing really well from what I can see. I'm sorry that you died for me. How was the reason?" "Little one, I saw what you did. You saved that girl. That is what true heroes do. And it was my time to go. And it was your time to step in. Now no more crying. It's time to wake up. Your family and friends are worried." Midoriya wakes up in a gasp. "Problem child, you're awake." They then fill him in that he's been asleep for a while, and that he's missed some things. "Well kid, I have some bad news and some good news." "Okay, go ahead sensei." "Well, bad news is you missed the provisional hero license exam." What's the good news then?" Aizawa then says that this is the good news, and he pulls out a provisional hero license with Midoriya's name on it. "What? How, sensei?" "Well, everyone saw what occurred, and they heard that you were kidnapped by the most powerful villain in Japan, and held your own to try and save your own life, and honestly, many others. The Hero Commission decided to give you this as a thank you, especially because you were in a coma, missing the test anyways." Midoriya tears up, but he's pretty happy, grabbing his license. "Izuku, you're awake?" Melissa runs in, and Aizawa tells him that he is cleared for class tomorrow, and that he will give them some alone time. She hugs Izuku and begins to cry and tells him to never scare her like that again, and that she was so worried he wasn't going to wake up. "I'm sorry, Melissa, but I'm fine, I promise, and I'm not going anywhere. As he smiles at her, she blushes like crazy. He then finds out that they moved into dorms and that his stuff is on his dorm already. So with the extra time that day, he visits his mother and tells her that he is fine. The next day at school, the class is greeted by what they call the big three of UA. One by the name of Tamaki, about to turns around, being very shy. But then the female of the group basically begins to talk, but they gets extremely distracted and starts asking the class questions. This is completely unethical. Aizawa says this while activating his quirk. No problem, Eraserhead. I got this. The future's gonna be... Silence then fills the classroom. Damn, tough crowd. The guy by the name of Mirio then decides to have the entirety of Class 1A to fight him, and Aizawa allows. They all head to the indoor gym. Midoriya, come here, please. What's wrong, Sensei? This is your first day back. I don't want you fighting. Midoriya argues, but Aizawa refuses, and basically tells him one day won't kill him. Aizawa then begins to think, if this kid fights, it will take the whole purpose out of what this is. The class then all begins to fight Mirio, and it's just like in canon. The whole class gets destroyed, but two are still standing, both Melissa and Bakugo. They charge at Mirio together, but seemingly can't hit him. Mirio then punches Bakugo into a wall, and the last left is an exhausted Melissa. Mirio disappears beneath the ground and appears in front of her, about to kick her, but a portal then appears in front of him, and he falls in, ending up right next to Midoriya and Aizawa. Midoriya looks at him. You proved your point, Mirio. Mirio looks at him in shock, thinking that this kid could not only keep up with my movements, but was even fast enough to stop me from hitting that girl? Midoriya's right. Mirio, that is enough. Melissa then runs over to Izuku. Izuku, what the heck? Why did you do that? I could have dodged. Sorry, Melissa. Just a force of habit, I guess. As he scratches the back of his head and smiles. She hugs him and tells him that she's just glad that he's safe and he's back. They go back to the classroom, and Mirio tells them that he's gotten this strong because of his work study, and that first years like them will see great progress if they choose to partake in one as well. Aizawa then tells the class that they're allowed to now search for their work study, but if accepted, they must keep up with their normal work as well. Everyone begins to leave, and Melissa and Midoriya walk out together, and Mirio is waiting for them. He explains that Night Eye would like to meet them both, and that he would assume Night Eye wants them to join, well, his agency, for the work study. Melissa then squeals in excitement that she gets to see her Uncle Night Eye again. Uncle Night Eye? Yeah, Izu. He's practically family. I can't wait to see him again. I literally couldn't be more jealous of you right now, Melissa. The next day they are brought to Night Eye's agency, and Mirio sends them both in. Melissa, honey, how have you been? I've been good, Uncle Night Eye. Oh, and you must be Midoriya. I'm extremely excited to have you on board as well, if you're up for it. I mean, of course I'm up for it. You are one of my favorite heroes, and this is one of the top agencies. Sounds good to me, so let me explain the situation. He calls Mirio and Bubble Girl back into the room. He begins to explain that he's been doing an investigation of the Shia Hazaikai and their leader by the name of Overhaul, and that they have heard news of them making quirk erasing bullets, and that during this investigation, everyone will be taking turns doing patrols around areas of possible sightings. Midoriya and Mirio, you will be a team, and Melissa and Bubble Girl will be a team. They agree and are told that Melissa and Bubble Girl have the first patrol, and tomorrow Mirio and Midoriya have their patrol. Midoriya heads back to the dorms, and after Melissa's patrol, she texts him. Hey, Izu. Oh, hey, how was your patrol? Pretty uneventful, but I guess that is sorta good. Yeah, I guess so. Can I come by to your dorm right now? Yeah, sure. See you soon, Melissa. They then hang out in his dorm and actually end up falling asleep on accident. Midoriya wakes up to see Melissa hugging him tightly while sleeping, and he basically just smiles and then turns to the door and sees all the girls of 1A standing there. The girls then all begin to say how cute this is, and Melissa wakes up and they both basically blush and she runs out the room. Mina then walks up. Midoriya, did you two do the... No, Mina, we didn't. We just fell asleep. They all roll their eyes, not believing him, and they walk out of the room. Midoriya then goes to the Night Eye Agency, and Mirio and Midoriya go on their patrol. So Ashura. Ashura? Yeah, that's your hero name, right? Oh, yeah, sorry. Well, I can't say your real name. Oh, okay. So, that thing you did to save your girlfriend. Oh, I just warped you through one of my portals. What? Portals? You have portals? So that's what that was. Yeah, I mean, I can tell you about my quirk when we're done with all this. As he says this, from an alleyway nearby, a little girl comes running out, falling into him. Oh, hey little one, are you okay? The little girl looks up and continues to shake in fear. Eri, come here, and don't bother the young heroes. Both Mirio and Midoriya look up at each other in realization of who this guy is. It's no worries, sir. We are always here to assist. Midoriya realizes that Mirio is trying to defuse the situation, but he begins to think. What would Ashura do? What would he want me to do? Midoriya looks up, seeing Eri, and smiles at her. It's okay, little one. You're safe now. I promise. She looks at him and basically tears up. That tears just begin to swell in her eyes. A portal basically appears beneath her, and she disappears. What did you do with Eri? Overhaul sends spikes at Midoriya, and at the last second, the portal closes, and he dodges out of the way. Mirio then charges at Overhaul, landing some clean hits, and Midoriya joins in as well. You damn brats, you will never understand the world I'm making. As he says this, Overhaul reaches into his back pocket, clicking a button. The floor beneath them begins to crumble because of Overhaul, and the buildings around them begin to tumble over. Midoriya blasts them and activates his full power with the Karma Seal. The fight slows down for him, making it easier to dodge Overhaul's attacks. Then multiple other villains show up to aid Overhaul, including a massive person. Overhaul then destroys the massive villain, turning his body into a huge form. This is over for both of you. Another villain then shoots a quirk erasing bullet at Mirio, but Midoriya jumps in the way, taking in his arm. Midoriya, no, your quirk! Midoriya looks at him and smiles. I trust that you can beat these other villains, right? Yes, of course, what do you mean? As he says this, a huge portal opens beneath Overhaul, and Midoriya follows, and the portal closes. You wrote your death warrant, kid. Overhaul then smashes him into a mountain. What? Where are we? Midoriya comes out of the mountain, a different dimension, and if you kill me, you won't get out either. So either way, I win. Midoriya charges forward, punching Overhaul, and then he flies up into the sky. Ashura, please help me. You've known this power for so long, but me, I've never truly known it. He puts his hand to his side, and this elemental orbs begin to swirl around his palm and continue to grow in size. This is your last chance, kid. Send us back now. As Overhaul sends practically a mountain of spikes at Midoriya. Midoriya releases his power and smashes into the spikes, and then it goes straight through them. Behind him appears a faded version of Ashura, holding out his hand as well. I'm proud of you, kid. I knew giving you my power was the right choice. The blast hits Overhaul, and he is out cold and barely breathing. Midoriya teleports them back with the last bit of energy he had and passes out. 1 week later, he wakes up to see Melissa, All Might, Mirio, Night Eye, and Aizawa at the foot of his bed. What are you guys doing here? Melissa rushes in and hugs him. You scared me, Izu. I thought you weren't going to wake up. And Recovery Girl said that you could be out for maybe even months. Melissa, don't worry. I won't die that easily. I have good karma on my side, by the way. And he begins to basically just laugh. Melissa smiles and kisses him. The rest of them basically just cough and say like, yeah, we're here too, by the way. They all laugh and embrace in the defeat of Overhaul. And, well, Midoriya finally being awake. And that is the end of this What If. If you enjoyed this series, please leave a like and subscribe. And make sure to check out the links down below. It's my Discord, my Twitch, stuff like that. And a GoFundMe for a fundraiser. Please check that out down below. I appreciate that a lot. For the people that actually I know will comment or are thinking this right now, I know that the Class 1B and Class 1A, that whole thing in the anime is already done and finished with. But I think I'm going to wait off on actually doing that. But I promise in future What Ifs, we're definitely going to be going more into that. And also probably more into the manga as well. But I want to wait on that a little bit. So I'm sorry if that doesn't make you very happy that I'm waiting on it. But like, I just want to wait a little bit longer. And then I promise that will be implemented very soon. Yeah. Like I said, if you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. And I hope everybody has an amazing day. Later. I don't wanna waste what's left.